Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Corsace Closed 2023. Here we have the final match of the round of 16. It is now Monday 16 UTC. This highly anticipated matchup of Criller versus mcy4 is about to start. We have Seed 6 being Criller, Seed 11 being mcy. As mentioned, this is going to be the final match on the round of 16 pool. Ended up being rescheduled to Monday. But that's all fine with us. We're going to be getting right into this match. We're just going to wait for these stats to load quick. You can see how these players match up with their stats. You can see mcy and Criller both very well-rounded players who can play well on many different skill sets. So I'm expecting this to not be a one-sided match whatsoever. These players are very dynamic, and I'm expecting definitely a high-class bout. And it looks like I'm going to be joined by Dio. Just joined the VC. What's going on, Dio?
Good morning, Miles. It seems that you are solo bolo, so I am here at the start of the match to prevent the solo bolo. And yeah, agreed. This is going to be a pretty good match between two very strong players. I think Criller has a bit of an edge in this matchup, has definitely the better stamina and speed of the two players, but mcy4 are very strong on lots of the gimmicky aim control techie picks in this pool as well.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to being well-rounded, you definitely have to give a little bit of an edge to Criller just because of that speed prowess of his that he's kind of grinded up in the last year. Meanwhile, mcy, as you mentioned, definitely a very strong gimmick player, but so is Criller as well, so it's going to be very dangerous picking that skill set into him. But still, definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Hopefully this one finally goes the distance. We haven't seen a TB yet on this weekend, and I think this match definitely has the potential to deliver. I know. Gonna be waiting for the players to join the lobby. Haven't joined the lobby yet. Still a couple minutes until official match time. So, gonna talk a little bit more. So after this match, we are going to be doing a showcase of the matchups for the next stream. We've updated the stats to account for the round of 16 weekend, so we're gonna be able to do some statistical comparison of all of the matchups going into next weekend. We've got losers bracket, we've got winners bracket. It's gonna be awesome. But okay, looks like the players have entered the lobby, and we are going to get into our roles and then our pick ban phase. Looks like Criller going to be winning the role 69-30. So Dio, what do you think these guys are going to ban against each other?
I mean, I feel like mcy bans a lot of the speed and stamina stuff, right? Very clearly his worst skill set. Could also look to ban reading. mcy4 is a very good gimmick and tech player, but not a very good reading player. Often gets reading abused by some of the best reading players in the world. Criller, for some people, is maybe counted among that, and yeah, there's actually a reading ban to come out of mcy4. Criller actually banning the no mod 2 is a little bit interesting. It is kind of an unconventional no mod 2, and of course, mcy4 very good at precision aim as well. Precision aim often taking a lot of aim control from players, so still within the same sort of wheelhouse. And if you're uncomfortable on high circle size, then this HR2 ban makes a lot of sense at CS 7.15. So very difficult for most players to deal with. And actually, double low AR reading ban from mcy4 is going to leave up all of the speed maps instead. So I think he actually has a better chance on speed against Criller than on the reading maps, which, you know, fair enough, especially given the AR 6.5 no mod 6 this weekend.
Yeah, you know, before Criller really became that tournament behemoth we've seen today, he really used to be a really good low AR gimmick player, and of course he still is, which is why mcy obviously banned that, but I think going for more of Criller's classical skill set here, Criller became really good at speed, still not really a main speed player. Maybe mcy thinking he has a better shot on those than the reading, which makes a lot of sense considering it's an overlap between a weakness and a strength on both players, so it's going to make sense for banning. Now, mcy going to go for his first pick, going to go for Hidden 3, the awkward flow tech map. Now, we've seen this map played a bunch of times. Scores on this have been relatively low. I believe Zoodinator may have gotten the top score on this on the weekend, getting a high 600k on this, I believe. But going to be curious to see how these two players do on this. Definitely a map that Criller is also going to be good at. Definitely, I think, a very risky first pick here for mcy.
Yeah, I would expect good scores out of both of these players on this map. I mean, there's not There haven't been a ton of really high scores on this map, like you said, not even an FC this weekend, so this is a relatively difficult pick, but it should be something that both of them are very good at. Very flow aim intensive, very slider aim intensive during some of the downtime parts of this map where there aren't these 200 BPM cut XL T-cell space streams all throughout the map.
And this map is a custom map, custom by WeaWheat. Now this map has a few distinct phases. You have this part in the beginning with some of these little 1/3 patterns into some other slider streams, and you definitely have the middle section, which is probably going to be the main point of breaks, where the streams get very intense. Here we go into the beginning phase. Going to be seeing how these players tackle it. So far, neither of them breaking.
Neither dropping anything so far. Still looking really solid for both of these players. A lot of act drops from mcy4, but the combo drop comes through from Criller, finds a miss aim on some of these streams, and continues to actually find some chain misses. Drops the act below mcy4, still dropping for Criller. Really not having a good time with this section at all, as mcy4 continues to just crush it. No problems on the FC for mcy4. Continuing to hold combo now into another one of those 1/3 slider sections that you talked about at the start of the map. Less of the stream stamina, but does find a miss on the 1/3s there, matched by Criller once again, and this is a huge lead now. 160k almost for mcy4 on this map.
Yeah, MCY finally finding some breaks, but all the drops from Criller have lowered his accuracy so much that it's going to take a miracle for him to win this point. Smoking out Inch, probably having a subpar performance for his locals on this map. MCY, however, up 170k, going to look to run this one into the ending and get that first point on the board. Barring, I guess, a tragedy on this ending section, but it doesn't get too much harder than the rest of the map. You can see into the Ki, Criller continues to struggle, not having a great time on this map, and it's just looking more and more definitive by the second for mcy4.
Yeah, this, regardless of whether it's a bad run or not for Criller, this is a very good run for mcy4, clearly. Well over 500k, holding the combo once again through the entire stream section, and now back into some of the slider 1/3 parts with combo intact, accuracy looking good as well. This is a very solid first point for mcy4. Did not look close throughout the entire map, and that's really what you want to see on the first pick for any player.
Absolutely. Great score for mcy4, getting probably one of the top scores on the weekend. Only think Zudinator and maybe Taquito got higher than this, but a 1 miss for MCY, very impressive. Up against 24 from Criller, just goes to show you the difference in comfort on this map, on this specific run. But now the pick does go back to Criller. He's going to have the chance to equalize, and as we aforementioned, probably going to go for a DT pick here, maybe a speed map, no mod 5 or any of the DTs up for grabs.
I think if you're Criller in this matchup, you basically leave mcy4 to pick all of the gimmicky aim control stuff, because that's what he picks anyway, right? Like, you don't want to pick into that. You want to pick stuff like this, the DT1, probably the DT2, DT3, no mod 5 against mcy4, who is pretty infamously bad at speed, stamina, double time. I do think the DT1 is an interesting start to it, because it's obviously more aim focused and is not AR8 like the difficulty name would suggest on the card. It's actually a different difficulty than the AR8 difficulty, and is AR 10.3 DT aim.
Yeah, this map, I think it's definitely interesting if you're going to start picking speed against MCY, because before MCY really became a tournament player, I think he was mostly well known for being a DT aim player, playing a lot of the high-tier farm maps in the game back when DT aim was the meta, and he was extremely good at it, one of the best actually. So this is definitely something that MCY is going to be accessible on, but maybe going to be a little bit wary of those tapping sections that come at the end of each course. And we can see out of the beginning, huge accuracy lead for MCY out of the start. Criller is struggling to get his foothold.
Yeah, it's definitely why I thought this was a little bit of an odd pick. mcy4 is not bad at these maps at all. We'll probably see Criller start to equal the act later on in the map, though. He's no slouch at the 10.3 reading, has very good aim as well. So it's not as if this is an ill-advised pick. I think maybe just something that mcy4 has a relatively good shot at taking a breakpoint on. We'll see how this goes. First Ki time underway already. Accuracy just about evened out at this point by Criller. mcy4 dropping a little bit during this part, and Criller holding on to the accuracy to even things out. Ever so slight combo lead to mcy4, but no, finds the slider break actually at the end of the first ki time, and Criller able to hold on. Double A ranks here, one miss at the start of the map for Criller, one miss after the first ki for mcy4, so big combo lead on Criller and score lead to follow.
Yeah, massively tragic for mcy4 finding the break after the first intense tapping section, and it looks like he might be able to get through this one as well, but Criller holding on to big combo. Oh, he gets some 50s there, but manages to hold on. And because this is DT, his lead is going to explode, especially with that combo approaching 800. He now has a 600 combo lead, along with the accuracy lead against mcy on this pick, and he is looking to run into this free combo part. If he can manage to get through this intense section, he will have a lot of free combo to draw upon, and with that miss from mcy and Criller holding on, this map just looks about over.
Yeah, pretty much. It's interesting that the tapping parts of the map are what mcy4 is struggling with, right? Usually you expect breaks on the aim in this map, but it's just the more tapping intensive parts of the KIs that are really catching mcy4 off, and it kind of fits with what we know about him as a player. It's just a little interesting that the quote-unquote easier tapping parts of this map are still enough to catch him off, and I think Criller is going to be very happy with the results of this pick. No inting this time around for Criller, maybe the act a little bit, but other than that, looking very, very strong on this pick all around, and should be very comfortable picking into the rest of the DTs and No Mod 5 later on in this match.
Oh, I don't know, this just surprises me. When I think of Kriller's main skill sets, I would think he would perform a lot better on something like a hidden tech pick than a DT1, but here we have Criller locking in the reverse choke, getting over 1 million score, absolutely dominating mcy4 on that pick. Gonna equalize now. Very strong pick for Criller. 2 misses only at the beginning. And gonna see what mcy does to respond here.
Yeah, I mean, for mcy4, the pattern is obvious. You're gonna go with some of the other techie or alti picks in the pool. Maybe a hidden one, maybe a No Mod 4, you never know. We'll see exactly where he wants to go with it. But I would expect it to be
No Mod 3.
I guess No Mod 3, which is also aim control, right? It's the alt map. Very, very aim control focused. Originally in Corsace Open 2020, used the exact same year in OWC Grand Finals as well. Very, very well-known alt map, Dishonor by Human, mapped by Yaspo and Half Slashed. This one is just kind of disgusting on changes between really, really awkward angle snap aim and flow aim all throughout the map, and never really lets up. It just throws you right into it and maintains the difficulty throughout the 2 minutes of the map.
Yeah, this has been a fairly popular pick this weekend. We've been seeing some decent scores on this. Of course, the top score of the weekend going to Whitecat, who managed to FC this, which I think makes sense because he might have done the same in OWC 2020. I can't say I remember for sure, but definitely a map that he has practiced before, so...
Was Whitecat able to play OWC 2020? I don't remember if he actually played that year.
That was the year with Upart's tiebreaker, right? I definitely remember that was the year
okay,
Whitecat came
yeah.
back. And now into the beginning here, we've seen a lot of players get tripped out by the beginning because of how quickly this map tends to throw you into it. Just difficult patterns right out the gates on this map. Both players holding on. No real accuracy lead to be mentioned. Both players, I think, actually equal on the accuracy. So there's no real lead to be told about right now. Oh, but there goes Criller.
Yeah, never mind. Now there's a lead. Big drop on the back and forth jumps for Criller there, and mcy4 able to hold. Now up to a 2% AC lead as well, so forget the combo. The AC also telling a big story. Both players breaking on the exact same pattern there, so score lead stays the same for mcy4 at about 70k-ish right now. Going to climb a little bit because the accuracy advantage still up 1.5% for mcy4, so looking very solid overall for mcy4 on this pick. Just needs to hold and not give over this huge combo advantage back to Criller once again.
Yeah, I think a lot is going to ride on who breaks next. Both the players having the exact same combo. The only real score difference now is coming from mcy's AC lead, but he manages to drop a little bit of it. Only now up about 0.5% over Criller. Now we are into the stop and go section at the end of this map. We've seen a lot of players find breaks here. If mcy breaks right now, Criller might have the chance to bring it back. But it looks like mcy is going to hold on to it. There's just barely enough time, even if he does break. But he does find the drop. It's going down really quickly. Just around 20k score. It's going back to Criller, and it goes!
And this is the trouble with mcy4 in this matchup, is that you are against someone who is also good at the same things. You need to gap them on this shared skill set all match long in order to win. And if you can't do that on even one pick, it becomes so much more difficult to do so later on. Criller having this distinct advantage on speed makes this match so much easier for him, because all he has to do is take a single breakpoint. His own picks are relatively safe compared to those of mcy4, and well, this is the result. Just over a 30k score lead for Criller over mcy4 on this map, and great scores from both players. 500k plus on that map is not easy at all, but just not quite enough for mcy4, and that is pretty disastrous this early on. You need to take a break point, and there's not going to be an opportunity for that for a little while all of these speed maps are still up.
Yeah, that 530k would have beaten most players this weekend, barring Whitecat, but not going to be enough to beat Criller, just stealing it at the end. And now Criller probably going to go for another speed pick here. DT2 still open, as well as Nomad 5. I think he might be a little wary to pick that DT3, but it sounds like it's going to be the Nomad 4 pick from Criller. This is interesting. This is kind of saying, hey, MCY, I know your strength. It is also my strength. Let's fight. And I think we're going to see some great scores on this map from these two players, but still, maybe a little bit risky as a second pick. But if Criller can manage to consolidate a breakpoint on this pick, I think it's going to be huge, because he's saving the DT maps for later.
This pick is very interesting. It's very. This is such a toss-up map. Criller, I guess, feels really comfortable on this map. That's the only thing I can say about it, is he wants to crush morale right now, right? If you crush the mental, if you say, okay, I'm gonna pick what I think you're gonna pick next, or something that is surely a good pick for mcy4 at some point in this match, and you win anyway and rob him of yet another pick in a row, this gap becomes pretty insurmountable. So I feel like if mcy4 loses this pick, the match is pretty much already over, even just from mental.
Yeah, definitely going to be really hard to come back from a loss on this if you're MCY. But if you're Criller, this is definitely a gutsy play, because you saw how MCY was able to combo that hidden 3, albeit these maps are very different. It's still something you have to be a little bit shy in picking against a player like MCY, who's just been so strong on these types of picks throughout many different tournaments in the last few months. It looks like both the players are going to be FCing up until the halfway point. It's gonna all hinge on this final NPI section. It gets very intense with some very difficult back and forth streams that we've seen many players break on.
Look at the ACK on Criller heading into this section as well. 99.6 to 98% accuracy for mcy4. Both players with very good ACK. Criller dropping a ton of ACK as I say that, but mcy4 drops the combo first. Both of them drop at pretty much the same point though. This is still neck and neck with pretty much identical accuracy. Now an ACK lead on mcy4, but another combo drop comes through for both players. They are within 10,000 score of each other. Just barely holding a score lead is Criller at the moment, holding on to a super tiny margin of victory going into the ending here. Literally a 10k score lead still, as the players are basically even in ACK, and this ending has no hard patterns in it at all. No room for chain misses. Is it spin to win? I don't think there can be any room. And that is Criller winning by 12,000 score, not even 11,000 score on this map. Really close map for these two players, but it really came down to the max combo. Criller comboed just a little bit better during the lead up to the portion of the map where they were both finding breaks all over the place, and that is the deciding factor. Slightly better max combo as opposed to ever so slightly better ACK actually for mcy4 on that map, and I feel like that is such a crushing blow. You rob mcy4 of what would otherwise usually be a relatively good pick, and now you are up 3-1 with all of the remaining speed maps available outside of that DT1. It's just, it looks so good for Criller right now off the back of that pick. Yes. Very risky, but it looks very good now.
So tragic for MCY, just losing by like 24 combo on that. Now MCY is going to go for something that I don't think we've really seen much of this weekend, this HR3 Avant-Garde. This map is really an interesting map, I think, when it comes to a tournament perspective. It's low BPM, it's 170 BPM. It has cross-screen jumps and very spaced and cut streams that it's really awkward to play in a tournament setting. You usually don't see this type of map in a tournament, but I think when it comes to something in mcy4's lane, something that he would be good on, something he can combo Criller out on, I think this is the type of map that might be good for him. Looks like we're going to be going into it. Criller consolidated his breakpoint, now up 3-1. MCY has to respond now. Another breakpoint here for Criller would be devastating. Into the streams already, 170 BPM. This is very, very low BPM for these players. A lot of the time, you never see a stream map this low BPM in a tournament. It's like honesty if you look at it.
I suppose a little bit, but the stream patterns in this map definitely much less comfortable than the streams in Honesty, and I feel like that's part of what makes this map fit the difficulty. You've got these types of cut streams, Axel decel within the cut streams as well. Really tricky slider aim all over the place. There goes Criller, does find a break on the slider jumps, so good combo lead to mcy4, does finally take the score lead back as well. Accuracy still with Criller, and there's a miss to come through for mcy4. Both players dropping on that accelerating stream, so neither of them gonna find a lot of trouble with maintaining the score lead as it is. Pretty much identical combos at this point, almost the same accuracy. It's 1% apart in favor of Criller right now, but about a 15,000 score lead for mcy4, so that ACK is not going to be enough to bring that over for now. Halfway through with identical combos, it all comes down now to the more alt-focused, aim control-focused section at the end. Lots of really big jumps and lots of really smaller 1/3 jumps, and Criller breaks on the giant back and forths. mcy4 breaks on some of these back and forths afterwards and drops so much accuracy as well. The score lead now only 5,000, less than 5,000, in the favor of mcy4, and Criller with the combo lead, probably going to be able to take this map as well if everything stays the same. This ending section has to favor mcy4 for the breakpoint not to go through.
And this ending section is really scary. You see this, it's just slow jumps with a few doubles mixed in there and a few 1/3 mixed in there. It is extremely scary if you're nervous as you see Criller taking the lead back, but the spacing on it is still quite large. I feel like if you miss aim just like MCY just did, it's still possible to miss. Criller missing as well, but he's already amassed such a lead with the accuracy lead as well. It looks like Criller once again going to look like stealing in this pick just by under 30,000, it looks like.
I feel like we just witnessed 3 breakpoints in a row, you know?
Yeah,
like,
literally.
I feel like, because the Nomad 3 and, of course, Hard Rock 3 were real breakpoints, but so we have at least got 2 in a row for Criller, but I feel like that Nomad 4 just kind of counts as one in spirit, because man, the expectation is for Criller to just pick mechanics and for mcy4 to pick all the tech and aim-focused stuff as much as possible, and Criller deciding to go out of his way to pick that Nomad 4, and then also winning another breakpoint on this Hard Rock 3. Yeah, no. How do you come back from this if you're mcy4, basically? This is a really massive lead for Criller in this matchup. 4-1 aside, this is... It's dire straits for mcy4 given what maps are left. You would usually want to pick that Nomad 4. You would usually want to pick this Hard Rock 3 and win off of it. There is the Hard Rock 1 left up. There is the Hidden 1 left up. But aside from those, I mean, you really don't have too many maps that mcy4 is favored on left in this pool. Maybe the Nomad 1 as well, but we just saw Criller win that Hard Rock pick off of the aim section in the back third. So even then, aim consistency not really a guaranteed pick for mcy4 at this point. So Criller looking extremely strong, and I think is here to crush any hopes of anything besides a tiebreaker win with the DT2 pick.
At this rate, MCY just really needs to get a breakpoint. It doesn't matter what it's on. I think MCY still on this type of DT2 might be able to squeeze out some combo. We've seen him play maps like this before and be able to combo them. I don't think he's really as speed gapped as we're making him sound here. But still, this type of map, Criller has just been so strong on this type of pick recently, and the chance for mcy4 to take a breakpoint on this, I think, is quite low. But we're going to have to see. Emerald Alice, DT2, custom map by Nanoya. This is our DT stamina pick. Up at 249 BPM. It's got a lot of speed mixed in as well, and you can already see MCY dropping the accuracy. While Criller still up at the 97 out of the first 100 combo. MCY already activating the combo game. Gonna need to see breaks from Criller if he wants to have a chance on this pick.
Yeah, he's not so combo game that he can't, or so speed gated, excuse me, that he can't combo game, but the accuracy is definitely going to favor Criller pretty much throughout this map. And that's to say, Kriller's not exactly a top-tier speed player either. He's just more confident on the speed than mcy4, and there's the combo break now for mcy4, and this just makes it so much more difficult to find a breakpoint on this pick against Criller. Still holding on to the combo, 90% accuracy for Criller, 87% accuracy for mcy4, but mcy4 finding the breaks and Criller is not finding any of them, still holding on to this full combo.
89% be damned, he's double tapping those doubles, XD and Smoke, he is still holding on to that FC and has already doubled MCY's score. He just has to hold on for a little bit longer here because when MCY has accuracy that low, it's going to be really hard for him to stage a comeback, so Criller just has to coast through these bursts here, get that combo as high as you possibly can before that stamina runs out. And he looks like he's going to continue forward here in this easier section. MCY has started reestablishing his combo though, up at 300. Not anymore though. Criller now with a absolutely monstrous combo lead, even higher than before. And he gets through those bursts, despite the 50s, still under 90%, but still holding the FC. Doesn't matter if you have low AC, if you're out comboing your opponent, it does not matter.
This is such a funny way to win a speed pick. Just like under 90%, mash your way through everything and still just hold on to combo. That's the entire strategy for Criller here, is just combo game as much as possible because mcy4 is going to have trouble doing the same, and as long as you can mash through the bursts, it doesn't really matter all that much. This is such a funny score, actually. How are you 88% full comboing over 3/4 of the way into this map? This is wild.
I mean, I've seen lower ranked players do that on some speed farm maps. I've seen people do this on System Sun, but when you're going up to near 8 stars of streams, usually the streams are pretty spaced, you can't really mash through it, but Criller is just proving us wrong. 88% gonna lock out the FC. Oh my god, it's a disgusting score in more ways than one, I'll say. That is crazy. 200 1100s. Actually, MCY having a lower 100 count than Criller, but the 50 count, 41-8 with MCY versus Criller, but still, that's going to be a 5th point on the board for Criller. MCY now back against the wall. Needs to win this next pick to stay alive in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we're looking at the hidden one here for mcy4. Maybe the Hard Rock one as well. I don't know. I feel like those are the 2 maps left in the pool that I would really see mcy4 picking at this point in time. Because the rest of the pool doesn't seem super good. I can see Nomad 1 as well. It's aim consistency. Definitely a sort of gamble map. Double Time 3 is not what I was thinking. It is an alt map, but it's high approach rate DT. I'm honestly not sure exactly how good mcy4's high AR reading is, but if DT1 is anything to go off, his high AR reading should be fine for this, and it'll just come down to, once again, kind of the aim controlling alt patterns at 200 BPM this time around.
MCY sweeping the 3s out of the pool. Nomad 3, Hidden 3, Hard Rock 3, DT3, all picked by MCY. This is going to be our DT alt map at AR 10.3. I think this is just the same conundrum as most of MCY's picks where, I mean, I see him being really good at it. You see him assessing that first pattern, but like Criller can definitely combo through this as well. It's just really just a tragedy. But Criller going to be finding the early drop. MCY going to be having a combo and AC lead out of the beginning here. Although this map is fairly long for a DT pick, up over 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But we're going to see how long he can hold this SS here. SSing this map for any portion of it is actually pretty disgusting because this skill set is just very niche, I feel. Into the Ki time now. Gonna be seeing who finds a break. Criller has reestablished his combo, so if MCY does manage to find a drop, Criller is going to be right there to swoop in and take the lead right back. But MCY looks so comfortable on this. 99.65% full combo out of the chorus. Criller up and coming though, almost at 99, high 98% for him. Definitely found his foothold on this map.
And like you said, it's all about whether mcy4 can hold on to this combo for an extended period of time. Has held through the first KI time. Going into the second one now, Kriller's still holding in addition, so MCY still has pressure on him to hold this combo as long as possible and make it so that Kriller has no chance at staging this comeback after the early misses went through. It is about a 70,000 score lead or so for mcy4 right now, based off of the early misses for Kriller, based off of the accuracy as well. So, and there's another set of misses for Kriller. mcy4 will actually take this DT3 pick now that Kriller has missed once again. So finally another successful pick to come through for mcy4. He's been looking for this one for quite some time. Finally going to put the second pick on the board. Had a couple of very, very close maps in the No Mod 3 and No Mod 4 earlier that felt like they could have gone this way if only they were just ever so slightly better on the day. But mcy4 finally going to be able to convert one more into a point.
Yeah, so far this match, Kriller has seemed to be, whenever MCY was holding combo, Kriller would be right there behind him, breathing down his neck. But now finally Kriller has fallen off and MCY can just coast to the ending with this combo. We're going to see if he can hold on to the FC. I don't think we've seen that many FCs on this weekend, if any at all. So this would be an incredibly impressive score, especially if he can hold on to the 99%. And he's about to get through that last KI. See if he can do it. And he does. Just a little bit left to go for MCY. See if he can run this FC into the ending. He's already above 1 million score. Already super impressive. Probably top scoring the weekend. And he gets it. 99.09% FC on this DT3 from MCY. And he definitely needed that. Now finally back on the board. 2-5.
Yeah, it's a 6 score for mcy4. Very, very good stuff. And it seemed like during the first half that Kriller could have potentially staged a comeback, but during the second half of this map, it was just all the mcy4 show. Very, very solid play for him, and I think a good confidence boost for the rest of this match. That said, the rest of this match may be relatively short. This is already match point for Kriller, 5-2 at the moment. mcy4 needs to win 3 more in a row, 2 of those being Kriller's picks, to force the tiebreaker alone. But this is a good start for mcy4 in what could be the road to a comeback in this match.
You know what I think? I think the only speed left in this pool really is Rebellio. I think if Kriller picks Rebellio here, Rebellio, one of the most accessible maps in this pool, even for non-speed players. Yeah. Say Kriller's one ship miss away from a pool that suddenly has no more speed. And then if MCY can break that, I think he has a good shot to win basically everything else left in the pool. But we're going to have to wait for the pick to come in. It's going to be hit in 1. Okay.
This is very reminiscent of the No Mod 4 pick, and I feel like this is maybe something now that Kriller just feels very comfortable on, right? When you want to close out a match, like you said, Rebellio, No Mod 5, not necessarily a guaranteed point. That map is extremely accessible and really can just come down to misaiming one of the jumps, even if you have better accuracy, right? The bursts are not that hard in that map for the vast majority of players, so picking something that you are super comfortable on instead might just be the strategy here for Kriller. That said, very much like the No Mod 4, in that I feel like this map is very much a toss-up. That No Mod 4 pick was extremely close between these two players, and you have to expect this one to be close as well.
Mm-hmm. On the day, though, Kriller looking a little bit more consistent than MCY on some of these alt maps, just squeezing out a little bit more score consistently, just between like 10 and 30k on 2 picks already, so gonna hope for MCY's sake that he can stay consistent on this. This map has 2 real distinct sections. You have the first half that is very much aim control. You have a lot of awkward aim, and then the ending section where the spacing just goes up to the moon, and a lot of full screen jumps, a lot of sliders that go very far across the screen. And here we are into the beginning section, mostly alt aim control here. Gonna see how these players tackle it.
This pick is a little similar in terms of structure to Rebellio, in that while this beginning part is not easy, it is a little bit simpler than the harder part at the end. And there's an over tap for mcy4. The misread going to cost him dearly as Kriller is still holding the 99.6% full combo. And that's why I had to say this map is not necessarily easy in the first half. It is still very, very easy to find misses during that part of the map. And mcy4 going to fall prey to the misread during that section.
Yeah, on a perfect stack too. So tragic for MCY. Kriller still holding onto his combo into this relatively freer section. Going to be able to bolster up his combo lead into the more difficult part. Already lead up at about 70,000 in favor of Kriller. But MCY still in it. Accuracies are about even, so Kriller just has to find the break for the comeback to begin. But during this section, it's going to be, I think, a rough ask for Kriller to find a break with how consistent he is playing on the day.
Yeah, the score is already very good from Kriller.
We'll
find the miss right before one of the easy sections in the build-up to the ending. This is now suddenly winnable again for mcy4. Kriller missing right at the halfway point is the exact wrong time to find a miss, but this ending is so difficult. mcy4 holding combo during this ending section is a extremely tall ask of mcy4. We'll see if he's able to do it or not. But this is basically going to come down to how these players handle the ending section. Here we go with the high spacing, the high velocity sliders, and ridiculous flow aim requirements. mcy4 and Kriller still both holding during this section for now, as mcy4 still with the combo lead, closing the score lead ever so slowly. Another slider breaks come through Kriller, and mcy4 still holding on, less than 10,000 points now. A 50 drop, but no slider break, and there's the score swap over to mcy4. And this may just be the run of all time. The combo through the ending for mcy4 is absolutely ridiculous. He's still holding on to this super high combo, and now the score lead is pretty much insurmountable for Kriller here at the end. Just a sliver of map left, and over a 60,000 score lead for mcy4. Both of them missing on that super hard pattern, and that is the point.
MCY completely flipping the script on this one. It was Kriller to hold on to the early combo, and MCY to hold on to the combo through the very difficult ending. Gonna get one of the better scores on this in the weekend. I believe only Henry getting better than what MCY got here. Actually, I'm wrong about that.
And Henry and Emrek for sure. Don't know about any of the other scores, but this is a very, very, very good score for mcy4 for sure.
Yeah, and he needed this. A break point going the way of mcy4, and this might just be the start of the comeback, getting a second point in a row. Winning that one by about 42,000 points is MCY, and he's going to get another chance to pick.
Yeah, suddenly this map pool does not look as good for Kriller as it once was. There's only a few other maps left for mcy4. You have the Hard Rock one, you have the Nomad one, and I think that's it. DT1, DT2, DT3, all gone. At this point, Hidden 1, Hidden 2, Hidden 3 all gone. And all of the Nomads outside of the Nomad 1 and the Nomad 5 are gone. So yeah, it is just the Nomad 1 and the Hard Rock 1 as potential picks for mcy4. You have to imagine Kriller probably goes with Nomad 5 last, unless he feels more comfortable on something like the basic aim consistency Nomad 1. It will be that Hard Rock 1 as the last pick for mcy4, who is now up 2 in a row, bringing us to a 5-3 game state. Still on the back foot, still needs to win 2 in a row, but is looking much, much better than during the middle part of the match, where Kriller had won 5 points in a row to take us to match point.
Yeah, MCY's got to continue to stop the bleeding now on this pick. HR1 Pure Scary, our Mamilia custom, our light tech aim pick, something that MCY definitely is going to be really strong on, but of course, something Kriller is also going to be able to put up a really good fight on, if not another break point on. But definitely winnable. But you mentioned earlier, after this, Kriller probably picks Rebellio, and I think that's going to be the most stressful Rebellio pick ever. Arguably the easiest map in the pool before tiebreaker cannot be any less stressful for these players, I feel.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Kriller Repair is able to do on this map alongside mcy4. Slight act lead for Kriller at the start here, as mcy4 obviously still holding on to the full combo as well. This is sort of a light tech general consistency map. It's an aim map for sure, but there's quite a lot of other things going on in this map in smaller portions. Lighter tech, lighter bursts, lighter streams, kind of all throughout. So this map much more general in terms of what it tests than a lot of other Hard Rock ones, which tend to be pure aim focused. And mcy4 holding on to the oh my god, what was that slider break?
No.
Oh no. Oh, come on, man. Seriously? On like the 5-star back and forth slider pattern? Oh no.
That is so tragic for mcy, dropping his combo on an easier section while Criller continues to hold on. His lead has already blossomed to about 50k, and especially into this slower section, Criller is just gonna run away with it. Only the ending really remains in terms of difficulty here. Criller is gonna get about 150 more free combo here, and the lead already up at about 100k. mcy absolutely has to FC for the rest of this map if Criller can continue to hold, especially with that accuracy, 99.4 for Criller. He is looking so comfortable on this pick.
Dude, this is so rough now for mcy4. No further breaks from either player, but like you said, the ACK lead for Criller is just astounding on this map, and already we're up to 150,000 score lead for Criller as well. The break needs to come through soon. I mean, we are just about at the point where Criller can break and not even need to worry about losing the point, even if mcy4 combos the entire rest of the map. So this break needs to come soon. Otherwise, it's going to require repeated breaks throughout the end of the map for Criller to lose this. And as we come in to the last quarter of the map, Kriller's full combo still intact, 99.3% accuracy. It looks grim here for mcy4, as there's not... Oh, okay! Maybe a window of opportunity, but I feel like if this is at the point 3/4 of the way through where it requires multiple breaks now from Criller, maybe some ACK drops as well. The accuracy lead still intact for Criller, 98.8 to 98.2 right now, and the score lead still 160, 170k at the moment. mcy4 closing the score lead, but I don't think it's fast enough. We'll see at the end of the map. It's going to be relatively close, but I don't know if there's enough time left in the map, and with that break from mcy4, that's it. The over-aim on the burst will decide it all for sure, as Criller will take this match 6-3.
That break from mcy4 on that relatively easier section gonna spell the death of him. He would have won this pick if he held on combo there, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be Criller emerging, comboing most of the hard section, and gonna be escaping mcy4's potential comeback on this pick, going up 6-3. A relatively decisive win for Criller here. Looked like he bled out a little bit at the end, but gonna be taking it decisively, 6-3. And that is going to be it for a round of 16 weekend. Criller going to be defeating mcy4. And now they will be moving on in the bracket. Criller gonna be going on to face Rimuru in the quarterfinals on the winner's side. Meanwhile, mcy is going to drop down to losers. Gonna be meeting up with Nineric down there.
This was a really solid match for Criller. I think you had a couple of points in the middle where it felt really close, like on the Nomad 3 and Nomad 4, but the DT1, DT2, Hard Rock 3 all felt really decisive for Kriller's side. And the Hard Rock one at the end to close things out also felt really good. Just having very, very, just having a really good time all throughout the map there, and with mcy4 finding that early slider break. I think if mcy4 didn't find that early slider break on the 5-star back and forth slider jump pattern, that would have easily been the win for mcy4, and we could have had a much closer match on our hands, especially with how small the margins of victory were for Criller during the middle of the match. But at the end of it all, Criller able to take things home and win on some of the maps where mcy4 was originally favored to win, where you expect him to close things out cleanly. So very nicely done from Criller in this match. Good luck to mcy4 in the losers bracket. Good luck to Criller in that winners bracket.
Totally. Now, I believe we are going to be very shortly be pivoting over into our matchup stream. So we're gonna be muting for a minute to get that all set up for you. We're gonna be joined by iFlame. Gonna have a 3-man cast for that, I believe, unless Dio wants to step out.
And I believe I will step out for that, as I joined last minute here and have other things to do on this Monday afternoon. So we'll go ahead and get the 2-man cast for the stats, get iFlame back in on the broadcast, and we'll see you all in just a minute for our stats to close out the weekend.
Thank you, Dio.